Alright, in this video, I want to explain love a little bit here. Now, in 1 Corinthians 13, we're told some things about love, about how it's long-suffering, and it endures all things, right? And that's actually a good example of what a lot of Christians do. Truly born-again Christians endure a lot of mocking and scoffing and humiliation and threats and at times worse, just so they can get the gospel to you, so that you can escape what's to come. That is love. And people look at things like that as the opposite, as hate. They call good evil and evil good, right? And I see this. With the way I grew up, I look at how some other people have been raised, and it's flip-flopped, where people enable their children, enable their bad habits, and they don't try to discipline them and correct them, because that wouldn't be loving. So these children grow up thinking that if you say that they're wrong and you try to correct them when they are wrong and they need to be corrected, that you hate them and you're not a good person. Because loving people would be like their parents who showed them love by not doing something like that and letting them do what they wanted to do, and that's that. And they basically remove consequences from them. So, as an example, I would see, let's use something like a fork in the outlet kind of thing. If your child is going to put a fork in the outlet, you don't just go, hey, honey, don't do that. Because it would be hateful to say, whoa, get the child's attention so they stop and then quickly take it away from them. They're like, hey, no, get away from that. Oh, no, because they'd get scared and they would cry. That's wrong. That's mean. It's no, you could have just saved that child's life. You being nice could actually have caused them to die because you didn't want to scare them and get them to cry. When fear at times can be a good thing, right? If, for example, you're a parent and you tell your child, hey, no cookies before dinner or you're going to get a punishment, if the child doesn't fear you, he's going to be like, whatever, I'm going to do what I want and just go have the cookies, right? But if they actually fear you because they know that you're going to punish them, right? They fear the punishment you'll give them. They'll keep them from actually getting into the cookies before dinner, right? Love is not some foofy-doofy wisp. Love is stern and rough, such as if you've come to a fork in the road and one place leads to civilization, another one leads to most certain death. And there's signs put up saying, beware, don't go that way because it leads to certain death. That's not like, hey, we want to restrict your freedom and not allow you to do these things. No, it's trying to actually help you, right? And then if there's actually somebody there who you didn't realize the signs were knocked down or something, and you went down that path and somebody saw you and they go, hey, they start yelling to you, stop, what are you doing? And then maybe they're a little bit rude, right? They say, hey, stupid, what are you doing? And you just ignore them because, hey, they're mean. They called me stupid. Well, they're trying to get your attention and they're just lashing out to try to help you. And that's just what comes out. That's love. Right? But a lot of people would look at that as hate because of the way they grew up, and they would ignore it. And they would go down and they would face the troubles. And then it's like, okay, was that love? Because the love people give today, that's what it does. Oh, yeah, don't correct them. Yeah, it might be leading to this destructive path, but don't be rude. You got to be PC. No, you don't. Such as with this uh, transgender thing, right? You look into this, and there's a great many of these people who transition who regret it afterwards and wish they could go back. And a great many of them are killing themselves, right? They're killing themselves even after getting the transition they supposedly wanted. And then there's some of them coming out saying, hey, I wish they didn't let me do it when I was young. They should have let me grow up and make the choice when I actually grew up. And then you say this, and you're a hateful bigot because you want to stand up and help these people. Hey, this is not the answer. You going and changing yourself, that's not what you really want. It's not going to actually make you feel better. It's not going to fill that hole in you that is leaving you empty, that's doing something to you that makes you want to do this. Yes, you want to be renewed and changed. You're going about it the wrong way. Ultimately, what we all want and that God will freely give us is a new birth. Well, he doesn't change our flesh. He changes us from the inside out, giving our soul a new birth, separating it from this flesh that a lot of these transgender people talk about that they feel uncomfortable with. And I can remember growing up, and even as a young adult, I wasn't transgender. I didn't think I was the opposite gender, but I wanted to be out of my body. I felt like I was a slave trapped in my body, and I wanted to get out of it, and that was the only way I could express how I felt. I didn't think that I was a woman or an animal or something. I just felt like I was trapped. And I think that other people feel the same way. And I think they're feeling what I was feeling. Their soul is trapped in the body. And people are directing that feeling to, oh, you're transgender or trans species or something. And they want to transform them so that they don't get led to Jesus. Because what we ultimately want is freedom from this body of sin and death. And this body of sin and death needs to be taken care of. And the only way we can take care of it is to actually bring it to the cross, because we're powerless to really change ourselves. And a lot of these transgender people realize this when they go through the transition. They regret it, and they're killing themselves. That's not the answer. The answer is to be reborn and changed from the inside. And that happens at the cross, where you come to Jesus and you lay down your life there, and you call on Jesus to save you from this body of sin and death, this vile, wretched body. And when you do that by faith, Jesus dies for you. Your life taken care of, all the wrong, everything. And he gives you his perfect and immortal life in exchange. And you have the new birth within you, and you'll change slowly from the inside out. And eventually, he's going to free us, our souls, from this body. And you can look forward to that and have the hope and not try to do it yourself in the flesh and bypass God. And you'll just end up regretting it. You see, this is love, telling you the truth and warning you of where your path goes down. These people who are not talking about these things and are just encouraging you to do this, they don't love you. They just talk about love. If they loved you, they wouldn't be afraid to offend. They wouldn't be afraid to hurt your feelings, to help you, to protect you, to warn you, and to guide you. I hope you took the time to hear me out. Think about this. What is love? Do you think people are really going to accept this message? I'm probably going to get a lot of negative feedback. probably get flagged and this thing get banned, calling it hate speech. Why would I bother taking the time to do that? You think I enjoy everybody coming at me saying I'm hateful and bigoted, demon possessed, evil? Do you think that's fun for me? It's not. It's not something that's going to stop me, but it's also not something I enjoy, right? Kind of like, having to do something because you got injured. You have to do something to reset a dislocation or a broken bone, or you get sick. You might want to fast or something, right? It's not fun. You don't necessarily enjoy it, but it's something you just got to do. Comes with the territory. So, that being said, thanks for watching. Take care.